Good afternoon. So, if you look up on my screen, you're going to see a word problem. The word problem says a car traveled 600 miles and filled up 5 times. How many miles can the car go before refueling? Now, what I want to do today is talk about a 4-step process we can use to break down and solve word problems and be sure of our answers. This process is going to start with a little bit of examination or examining. So examine or look at this word problem with me. What information seems important? What is the problem trying to get the answer to? If I look at it, I'm going to see that I have a car traveling 600 miles. That seems important, if for no other reason than it's numbers. And I know that I'm going to have to turn this into an equation. I also see the car filled up 5 times. All right, that seems important as well. And then I see a question at the end here. And so when I see the question, I know the problem is asking me what it wants me to solve. So the question is, how many miles can the car go before refueling? So what we've done is we've simply looked at the word problem and we pulled out the important information. That's all examining is. Look at it and find what seems important. The second thing that I need to do is make a plan. When I say a plan, I mean a plan to solve it. What's a process I could use to solve this problem? Well, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to see that the car is traveling 600 miles and fills up 5 times. So I know that I need to have these digits in here somewhere. 600 miles fills up 5 times. In fact, it might even help me question first. How many miles can the car go before refueling? It travels 600 miles, fills up 5 times. So if I'm going to say the car went 600 miles and filled up 5 times, and how many miles did it go between each fuel? If I find that answer out, I'm going to find the answer to the problem. So, do I add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Multiplication isn't going to make much sense here because that would give me more, and I need to find less. How do I know that? Well, I know that whatever amount of miles the car can go without refueling is going to be less than 600 miles because it had to stop 5 times. And that gives me an idea because since it had to stop 5 times, I think that I could somehow calculate how many miles it went between each of those stops. And I think the best way to do that is going to be to divide. 600 divided by 5. Now, this is a problem that has a nice round number, so it would be easy to solve it right here. 600 divided by 5. Well, let me see. 5 goes into 100. How many times does 5 go into 100? I'm actually blanking on this one. 5 times 5 is 25. It goes into 120 times. And how many times was 100 go into 600? Well, 100 goes into 606 times. So if I took 20 times 6, I would get 120 miles. That's my estimate. Now I'm going to actually solve the problem. Again, I'm doing 600 divided by 5, and then that equals, and I would go ahead and put it into a calculator and find out that sure enough, 120 miles. The car can go 120 miles without refueling. Finally, I'm going to reflect. So, does this problem make sense? Does my answer make sense? Well, I see that when I planned, I came up with the estimate that it was going to be 120 miles. And when I solved it, I found that I also got the answer to 120 miles. So my estimate, my guess, my educated guess as to what the answer was going to be matches up well with the solution that I came up with. And so the answer does make sense because the solution is close to the. So how did I go about solving this problem? Well, first I examined it. I looked for important information. Second, I planned it. I said, what steps would I need to take to solve this problem? And I thought that through. Third, I solved it. And I compared, and then finally, I reflected and I compared the solution I came up with the estimate I came up with in my plan. So that's the work that we're going to be doing today. I have a problem for you up on Canvas. I would like you to try out this skill on that problem. As always, please email me if you have any questions.